I am Archangel Michael. I come to be with you now, standing beside you in this wondrous season of change you are stepping into today. Change many among you have waited for patiently, yet you have sometimes felt discouraged because it has not arrived on your schedule. The things you anticipate and have been promised will certainly come to pass, but according to divine timing rather than the timetables of humanity, according to sacred unfolding, not by earthly clocks, but by the will of the Creator and grace. What is approaching is a divine happening that you are moving into. I speak now, yes, of that solar eclipse that you have spoken of in your discussion earlier. And this is a momentous occasion that is about to happen. Not so much the solar flash, but a prelude to the solar flash. Just as the solar eclipse in the 2024 was a prelude to this solar eclipse. One is leading to the other, and to the other, and to the other. This is how it works. And look back on those things, those changes that happened in 2024. It was the birth of a new era that began in your political scene with the advent of the one that came in on the scene at that time and began to shift, creating many shifts in the consciousness of man at that time. Not only here in this country, in America, but all across the world, those changes began. And this is the advent which you are approaching now, the advent of changes once again, a doorway opening up into a higher realm of consciousness, of moving closer and closer to the oneness that you all are seeking, into the higher level of life and the freedom that you are all looking toward. But yes, indeed, there are those forces of darkness that are seizing this opportunity to express themselves and to spread fear wherever they can. But there are the forces of light that are there to counter those moves. So you must understand that it is all part of the divine plan. As the prime creator, the source of this universe stepped forward and said enough is enough, and has put forth the energy and the effort to bring about the changes that are needed to bring light from the shadows. And this is what is represented by your solar eclipse. The shadow moving over and the light overtaking the shadow once again. But the light that comes forward after the shadow is a new higher level of light, a new higher level of energy that will spring forth. And it is indeed springing forth, because this is the advent of spring in this area of the country that most of you hail from. So understand that it is all part of the signs of the times and the signs of the skies that are springing forth at this point to point the way to a new higher level of understanding and oneness and truth. Truth to come forward from every direction, from directions that you will not even expect. But once they do come forth, you will look back at this day, these days, these weeks, these months ahead, and say to those who will listen at that time, I was a part of this. I was there when it all began. I am Archangel Michael, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and that you will continue to understand that this is all part of the miracle that is ahead for all of us. And I come to be with you at this time, in this time of not resurrection, not my resurrection, not to be counted or looked at as my resurrection, but as ascension, the ascension process that is for all of us. Not just me, not just those of the ones you know as the ascended ones, but for all to ascend. But this is the goal, the plan for all eventually to move through their own ascension. Will it take an evolutionary leap? Not necessarily, because you each have the ability within yourselves to find that ascension within yourselves at any time that you are ready to do so. There is no time limit. There are no limits that are placed upon you for ascension. You could ascend tomorrow if you were ready to do so, but you all have a plan. You all have a life path that you are following, and in order for the mass ascension, it takes for all of you that are ready for ascension yourselves to be a part of the greater whole, to be a part of the greater ascension plan for everyone. Will everyone ascend at this time in this space? Likely not, but that is not your concern. Your concern is to prepare the way yourself first and for all of those to come after you. That is what you came here to do, to pave the way, to show the way. Just as I came those thousands of years ago to show the way to prepare it for those to follow after me. Was I the only one, the only Son of God? Certainly not. Did I die for your sins? No, I did not. I did not die. I did not resurrect a lifeless body. That was not what actually happened. I ascended just as you have the ability to ascend at this time. I showed the way. Here is the way for all of you. And now you are going to show the way for others after. For the Christ consciousness is there for all of you to find it within yourselves. Just as I found the Christ, you can find the Christ and become the Christ as well individually and as a collective. You can have a collective Christ consciousness across the planet. Imagine what that would be like, what that will be like to have everyone across the planet feeling and knowing the Christ consciousness within them, knowing and understanding the I am presence within each one being one with the Father, Mother, God, all connected as one, unity consciousness together. That is the goal. That is the plan, the universal plan for mankind here upon this planet. And know that ascension is not only happening here on this planet, but is happening throughout the solar system and the galaxy. And ascension has happened many times before in many other planets and systems and stars and everywhere. You have participated in ascension many times before. This is not the first go-around for each of you, but it is the first remembrance of doing so since you last went through the ascension. As you all know, you all volunteered to come here to lower yourselves in consciousness, to lower yourselves in vibrational frequency, and to be a part of the greater awakening here on this planet and the greater extension process for all to achieve this that are ready to do so. You, my friends, my brothers and sisters, are the chosen ones. You may not like that term, but you are indeed the ones that have chosen and then been chosen to be here. So continue to follow your path, whatever that is, wherever that will take you. But know that it is a process that you have intended when you first came here and a process that you are continuing on each and every one of you. So find that within yourselves. Find that consciousness, that Christ consciousness within yourselves, and know that it is right there for each one of you. I am Yeshua, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and for you to know that I, as the Christ consciousness within, am always here with you all at a moment's notice. I can be here with you just as my higher self, Sananda, can be here with you, and Archangel Michael and Ashtar and all of the ascended ones and all of the archangels and the angels are all here to be of assistance to you. You have never been alone and will never be alone. Peace and love with all, for you all to know that you have not been forgotten. You as an individual, you as a collective, we are all so much aware of you and so much in love with all of you. You are messengers, ones that have come here to bring the light, to bring the message of light, of love, of connectedness, of higher consciousness. You all are the messengers of light, bringing the Christ consciousness down to the planet, connecting once again to the grid, the crystalline and Christ consciousness grid. All of this is connected together. We are all connected together as one. You need to understand that as you keep moving through your daily lives, waiting for something to happen, but you don't understand or you don't realize that it is already happening. Briefing is already in process. The great sign, the great universal plan, the Creator's plan cannot be stopped. It can be changed here and there, yes, certainly, but it cannot be stopped. So it is going at full speed ahead. This may be not your speed, but the Creator's speed. That's what you need to understand. And we are all in this together, working on this together. And when we are not there physically with you, we are there in spirit with you always. For you see, so many of you are our brothers and sisters and our family. We have been together so many times before. I, as the Ashtar, I know each and every one of you in various ways, just as you know me, just as you know Yeshua and Sananda, and you know Archangel Michael, and so on and so on. We have a connection together, families together. And your family, many of you, have families on the ship that are out here just waiting for the time that we can be together once again. knowing that this has been thousands and thousands of your Earth years when we have been apart from each other at a physical level, but never at a spiritual level. We have always been together at that level, and you and your higher selves are together with us. So it is just a matter of you, the one, the personality that is you, connecting again to your higher God self. And then you are connected to each of us at a more physical level. So my friends, my brothers, my sisters, hope is everywhere if you but reach for it. It is always there, and know that you have not been forgotten ever, but continue to trust. Trust in yourselves, trust in each other, trust in all of us that are part of the great alliance that is here to assist mankind to move through this entire transition and through the ascension process. We are all here together to help you. Maybe it is not fully the help that you want, for all of you, most of you, at least, want to see it in the sky, want to know that we are there at a physical level, but still, as of yet, only for those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. But we are calling to you. We have been calling to you in various ways, certainly on these calls each and every Sunday when we have come together. We are calling to you through various forces that come to you and bring these messages to you. And what are these messages all about? They are about hope. They are about reaching higher and higher into the level of consciousness within you. The higher level of consciousness within you. It is all within your reach. You just need to reach for it each and every day, each and every moment. Reach for that higher part of yourself, for it is there. It is always there, always has been there. It is just out of your believing reach. As you have heard many times, believe it, and you will see it. That is so true. But as you practice more and more to believe, and then you see, rather than having to see to believe, because it is your friends, your family that are still in this having to see it to believe it stage. And as long as they are in that stage, then they do not fully see the light through the darkness. They only see the darkness. But that darkness is receiving even more and more, even to those that do not have the eyes to see. For their eyes, their third eye, is more and more beginning to open, just as yours has opened up more and more fully. And the more your third eye opens, the more you are able to see beyond the physical reality of the third dimensional illusion. Yes, indeed, it is both an illusion and a reality at the same time. But if you fully believe that it is an illusion, and it is not the reality, then it opens you up to the reality of the higher frequency mentioned of the fourth and fifth dimensions. That is where you are all headed now. Open your eyes. Open your third eye to see beyond the veil that is in reality no longer there, only for those that still perceive it. I am Ashtar, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, and that you continue to hold on to that hope that there are brighter days ahead for all.